Hello, hello, everybody. Good morning. My name's Heather Aston, and this is my channel, TT's Trinkets and Treasures. Sorry if I confused people. When I went to schedule my live, I just went muscle memory and set it for at 11 o'clock, and then realized my mistake about 20 minutes ago and changed the time back to 10 a.m. when it was supposed to be originally. So, a couple of things. I'm starting to get my Christmas stuff in, and I'm very, very excited. So I will show you guys a couple of those things. And then I had said that I might actually be doing my FOC today, and or yesterday said that I was going to finish my same design three price points today. But here's the thing. I think both will be easier to find if I do those as recorded videos rather than live. I think it'll be really hard for people to go back and find stuff if it's done in my morning live. So I'm not going to do either of those things, but we are going to make a very pretty fall necklace. And as always, it's kind of a little choose your own adventure that I like to do with all of you. So, hello, everybody. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Dorothy, Miranda, Barbara, Carolyn. Hello, hello. So, we'll give everybody a minute to get in here. I hope everybody's having a great day. But if not, I hope by the end of this, it's a better day. Because I don't know of anything else that I can do that picks my mood up faster than hanging out with my jewelry friends. So, virtually mostly, but hanging with them. It's fun and I have a blast. Okay, so since we're not going to be doing the same design two or three price points today or my FOC, because again, I want you to be able to find them easier. And I know I could go and put my lives in all the other categories, but still you're not going to see the piece that I'm making, and it's just going to say morning beads and things. So as I have memory recall issues, the likelihood of me being able to say, oh, that was done on this day won't work. We should all just, realize that now, acknowledge it, move along, we'll be good. Oh, sounds like I did not put my phone on do not disturb like I thought I did. So let me do that real quick. I do generally keep my phone on do not disturb. Oh, my daughter just sent me a Snapchat. I'm sure it's of the baby, but it'll wait till afterwards. Okay, so let's go down to the mat. Hello, Crystal. And I'll show you the things you get to choose between. So I've had these beads for a long time. I believe that they're just glass beads. I'm like 95% sure that they're just glass beads. And I don't know why, but I haven't used them before now. So I figured there's no time like the present, and I pulled out a few different items for you guys to choose between. I figured we could do, I have some, and these are probably my favorite leaves I've ever gotten from Bargain Bead Box. But I have these and I like it because it has like the little leaf detail right there. There's another leaf right there. And the back side as well looks like the back side of a leaf. And again, there's a little leaf underneath the loop. So like I said, one of my favorite Bargain Bead Box leaves ever, metal leaves. I have not seen them since, and I will tell you that I looked everywhere and haven't been able to find them, which is a bummer because like I wanted to get them in antique copper and other shapes. So we have a leaf. we have these like mandala mandala pendant, that's what I'm trying to say, sorry, that we could use. I do have the Suchow Jade, and this has the lighter green as well as the reds and oranges. So I thought that that could go with it really well. Or because we could probably add this on either of them. I have these pretty banded agate. I'll pull one up so you can see them clear. I don't know how to get it so you guys don't get that line, but anyways, I have these large carnelian beads. I don't know what this shape would be called, but I have those, and those can still be used above the leaf. The Suchow jade would be a bit much unless like we did a long Y. I have more of my chocolate pearls, which I love. I have the slightly lighter toned, what I'm calling like, we'll call that mocha, we'll call this latte brown. So I have some English cut carnelians. I have hand napped green moss agate. And if we use something like this, I also have moss agate rounds, which could look really cool in between those, the smaller of them. So are we going to do like the big leaf with carnelian or with the moss agate? Do we want to do the mandala or the Suchow jade? What should we do? Either way, I have some cool bead caps pulled out for these. But I just want to use these because these, like I said, they've been in my stash for forever. So what, the browns and oranges, and add the green in. Wow. Okay, so we're going to do this with this. Is this what we want to do? I'm going to assume. I know, isn't it so pretty? I've never seen it before, ever. And I literally have looked for it and haven't been able to find it. And it was only 60 cents a piece. So that was my cost. But okay, so we'll just do a little mixy mix of everything. Maybe we'll throw in some of the mocha pearls, do a little mixed metal, gold and antique bronze. But I think I want to string it just because making links would A, be more time consuming, and B, I want the beads to like, okay, so no mocha, add carnelian. Like that. Is that what we want to do? I think this is going to be fun. That's all I have to say, because I also have some itty bitty little bronze spacers that I think you guys will really get a kick out of seeing. And they could be perfect in between all of this since we're not using the mocha. I thought my thing was if we use the dark pearls, we don't want to use these itty bitty babies too. But look at those. They're the coolest shape. They're not round. There's like a little detail etched in them, but they're itty bitty babies and would be perfect to go through in with this. Okay, so I'm going to assume we're going with the moss agate here so we can throw this in and not this is another really good bead for fall, guys. It is pink spiderweb jasper. It's really pretty. The camera is not doing it justice. It's all like corals and dark reds and creams, and they're very pretty, very inexpensive. Alrighty then. We are going to do the moss agate. We can put this in, no on the pearls. I'm going to assume yes on the spacers, and if you say no, I still want to use them. And that's the best part about being the one that makes the jewelry. But I hope you guys also like when I do the kind of choose your own adventure. I hope it helps you feel more like engaged in the project. Because I have fun chatting with you guys and like deciding what we're going to do, and better than I like coming in, having everything set up, and then you guys not being able to, because I feel like putting the different beads in at different points helps you to see like, oh, that does go with that, or oh, this could go with that. Maybe it's a combination you hadn't thought of using before. So that's why I started doing it. But yes, okay, let's cut this puppy open. Cutters. You hear my dogs barking. There's people doing work on the house across the street, which means that there is. Ooh, are these going to be too small? It's okay. We can do them in separate areas. They don't need to be right next to each other. Okay, there's some moss. If we feel like this is too close to this color, I do have it in 6mm as well. So we can pop these open if we need to. Yes, it is fun. Beth said, go back to the strand you just showed. Oh, this? Yeah. This is pink spiderweb jasper. And I get it from Bernie's. So, if you guys ever wanted it, let me know, because I happen to think that it's very pretty. It is an underutilized, I think I need to hit the focus button on my camera. There we go. That's better. You can see that. Well, the expert is Heather. I have about as much experience as you, Don, but we think a lot alike, which is cool. I thought you were on my time today. So it's okay. That was my fault. When I originally set up the live, I put 11 as the start time, and then when, oh crap, I need to be at 10 o'clock. Otherwise, there was going to be like this huge time gap. It is called Pink Spider Web Jasper. And here, let me pull it up because I know I've had it on a live sale before. So I can tell you what they cost. So items, all items, spider. It's pink web jasper, sorry. So a 6mm strand is $9, an 8mm strand is $11.25, and the 10mm is $13.13. So very inexpensive, but it's pretty and I like it, and it's a way to keep it adds brightness with all of the saturated colors that fall is kind of known for. So that's why I like to use it, because it brightens all of that up. All right, I need to get some beading wire out. Okay, I don't know where my antique brass is, so we're just gonna use copper because nobody's gonna see it but us. Alrighty, here we go. Oh yes, look at that carnelian next to the moss agate. I wonder if I could figure out how to do this. Not this morning, but some morning. I need to figure out how to make that happen, because that would be stunning. Absolutely stunning to have the carnelian all around the outside of the moss agate. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay. So let's start with the focal. even though we're not going to do that today, what we could do, no, I think it has to be either or. And I think I'm leaning more towards the moss because these are a deeper carnelian. So if they were not the same size, I would be more inclined to go ahead and try it. This is probably too much beading wire, but it's okay. There's that. Okay, so we need to wire wrap this first. And this is where the mixed, well, no, I should have some brown. Okay, let's not dump over any huge containers of beads. I know I have some brown wire amongst all the other wires. There we go. Okay, found it. Also found some. Also found some antique chain if we need it for around the back. Okay, let's start by wire wrapping this. Yes, I agree. I'm liking the whole situation. So I'm going to start by doing my little hybrid loop as always. I'm going to use my bill step pliers thing. I only need the one. It's okay. I'm going to go at an angle because that's the way I do my wrap loops, up, over, and down. Rotate the pliers so they face the mat. Pull the loop up like that. I'm going to go ahead and lock into my, hold on, I think I missed something. Oh no, I didn't. It's okay. Ooh, that would be fun. Are you guys close to each other? If you guys ever want me to set you guys up a chat in StreamYard, because then you guys can put everybody's cameras up at the same time. You can go to one person and make that full screen, go to another one. Like, I have no problem doing that. I'd like to be part of it whenever possible, but I don't mind setting it up. I pay for the pro plan one way or another. And I think Beth is an admin. So Beth, you could actually set that up yourself if you were ever so inclined and I wasn't available to. Sorry, there's no room on my loop to like hold on to do the little wrap I do. I'm trying though. Come on. I could have just made a bigger loop, but it seems like, but as you know, this girl doesn't like her beads to be, not always, but prefers her beads not to be all spread out because then you don't get to see the cohesiveness and everything else. So then we're going to put our mat, or I mean our hand napped coin bead. And we're going to do another loop. And I'm just going to get down close, kind of bend that over, and pull that around the back. It went sideways, so my loop is not quite as but Beth, you brought up that you're newer to jewelry. I am by means no expert, Dang it, my loops aren't going in the right. Oh no, I need it to do that. Of course I did. What was that? I was just fooling y'all. I wanted to see if you guys knew that they needed to be opposite. That's what it was. It was like a little pop quiz. Okay, wire is done. Thank goodness. Okay, so I think we obviously will take two of our little like little dark brown spacer beads, put one on, and then put the other, put your focal on, and then put another of the small beads. And so when this is tight, it will help to keep your wire from rubbing on your beading wire and messing up the coating. Okay, now we're going to flip off one side. So we don't have any accidents. Okay, and I'm going to clip it off about where it would be. Alrighty. So I think I want to go straight into the English cut. And then let's go ahead and put one of the glass beads on. A little bead cap. I don't know that I like by like. Don't know why I took that off. I think I want to use like the olive green one instead. So pretty. These colors together. Yep. I feel like it needs a spacer in between, but I'm not going to have enough of just the brown. Well, I might. I've got quite a few on my plate. Get the rest off my little plate right here. They're going down. The reason it's taking so much time is because they were going down into like this spot. So I couldn't get them off easily. So we'll just pick them up and do it this way. Take the big ones off. And all that'll be left is the little ones. Okay. One. Let's get a better idea of how many we have to work with. Oh, when is that? Oh, September. It's coming right up, hon. Well, yes. We're not just PD friends and whatever. We become each other's family, which is oftentimes better than the family we don't have a choice for. I think I want to open this size. Because I don't think that I like, because then I can alternate between this and go back and forth a couple times and then go to this and then go back to this and then go to that. Whereas with the small ones, I would literally have to put them yeah, I would either have to take out the spacers and just alternate this with this. I don't know. Are you guys seeing the predicament I'm in? Your daily shows? Yeah, we went from our mama soap operas to bead videos. So okay. And I'm gonna pull these out. Yes, pull those out. And I'm gonna go to a moss. The dark ones. Another spacer. Another carnelian. Another spacer. Another moss agate. And then this is when we'll bring in the oval beads. And I think I'm gonna like this better. Though I'm not sure about this spacer. You guys know how I feel about these antique brass. They're antique brass, not antique bronze. So that's where, oh wait, nope, I want to do one more carnelian. And then I will add the glass on. Let's go ahead and do like the goldy yellow ones. Okay, bead cap. And then this next time, I'm going to swap and I'm going to do the dark green spacer, carnelian spacer, another moss agate, and I will explain why in just a second. Okay, here's the reason. I didn't like the way it looked to have the carnelian directly next to the lighter oranges. Now, that's me personally. If you're good with that, by all means, go ahead. I could have probably only exclusively used the orange tones, but by putting the moss agate on the outside, I just realized the mistake. Dang it, Heather. Having the moss green on the outside will work better. I forgot to put a spacer there before I put on my, but I don't know, is that silly? Should we just use the different oranges? That's what we have the most of. I kind of like the yellowy, but yeah, thank you. Wait, what didn't I know about? I just missed a whole bunch. You know, I was a private nurse. Wow, that's crazy. Wait, but why are we waiting till November? I need to fill up my October. Don't be nervous. Coming on is so much fun. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. If I don't use the yellows, I would just do that and then keep my pattern the same with the 3 carnelians before I do this. So this is what it would look like if the glass was right up against the carnelian, and then put another one on for the other side. That's what it would look like. What do you think? I could bring this up closer too. Do we want to just use the orange since there's more than enough to do the whole necklace in orange? Or do we want to break the color up some and use the gold tones? We're only going to have a few of these on each side, probably 3. So we could either do gold and exclusively the like goldy green tones, or we can go orange. Or we can do like I was originally going to do and just swap which bead we had 3 of in any given section. Okay, we'll go orange. Got it. I do like that I'm not using a whole lot of metal. It's just kind of sprinkled in sparingly, even though I have more than enough to put it on every single bead if I wanted to. It just keeps, I feel like it lets this be the star rather than this being like what is that called? A coworker, but that's not what I was thinking. Like a guest star or whatever. I love this, and so I want the leaf to get the attention it deserves because it's so pretty. One more. Then we're gonna go back to the softer orange tone. Supporting actors. That was what I was thinking in my head and couldn't get to come out of my mouth. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to pull 6 over here so I know how many I have to work with on each side. So we can go 2 and then 2, 2, 2, and then there's 1 left that I'll probably use for an earring. So I like that the carnelian itself has a natural like difference in the different shades, and that those aren't all like one color. I'm probably going to finish this one and then going to the other side to make sure I don't run out of my spacers. I think I have more than enough, but I'm not 100% positive about that. So we will go do that side in just a minute. One, 2, 3, then this spacer. This one is 2 bead caps stuck together, which I like to do to create spacer beads. That's why I'm like, wait, what? I do that. Okay, well, let's clip this side off and come over here and do the other side so we don't run out of spacers. Be up. Poop Creek without a paddle, right? Oh. Dun, dun, dun. In case you're new to my newer to my channel, just know that I tend to go in phases. It's something that I've always done. My daughter told me it's probably because I have ADHD and I just don't know it yet, but I will focus on, like, for a while I'll do wire work, a lot of it, and then I'll go and start doing knotting a lot, and then I'll do beaded links. It's just how my brain works. I'm the same way with snacks and food, and sometimes I get on a pasta kick and that's all I want. So that's just who I am. I want some darker ones, really dark ones, so that they are as saturated as the carnelian. So I said that because I know I've been doing a lot of stringing projects lately. And I hope it's not driving you all crazy and you're not like, okay, Heather, can we be done? No more stringing projects. And I say that because I've thought those things when other creators do that. So boo, boo, boo. But yeah, if you have never if you've never used bead caps as spacers, I'll give you a couple of little pointers on the best way to do it. To keep them from rubbing up against each other and moving out so you can tell it's not actually a spacer, you want to put either a very small bead in the middle, and if you don't have room for that, put a teeny tiny jump ring in the middle. So then that sits and blocks up that space, so then it's not able to like go wonky on you. I hope that made sense. Because wonky is a very technical term, but it makes it more steady. I did do links, yes. Okay, thank you for reminding me. Okay, what is that thing? Jenny's here! Good morning, Heather. Sorry I didn't see you, but I've been lurking. But wanted to say hi. I'll hang out till my mom's ready to read. Okay, sounds great. Jenny. Ba-ba-ba. Guys, hit the like button. Thank you very much for reminding. Yeah, and if you wouldn't mind sharing my channel with people in your life who might find me interesting, weird, Yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with this. I know that some people are like, stringing projects are easy. They absolutely are not. In fact, I find them to be more difficult than non-stringing projects, because if you're doing wire work, the wire is helping helps take some of the, oh my gosh, what am I trying to say? It takes up a lot of room. You can spread out colors, so then you are not having to be as tone on tone because they're not right next to each other. Whereas in a stringing project, you're able to see right away if it is going to look good or doesn't look good. So if you're doing leather and knotting, that has its own complexities, all of it its own. And so I don't like when people say, oh, it was just a stringing project, because it's not just a stringing project. At the same time, don't ever think you have to design the entire necklace up front. You can go in like 1-inch sections, like my choice to break up the pattern by including the glass beads. Then it gives more visual interest by doing that. So it's just a matter of how far you can get. Oh, I'm afraid I'm gonna run out of spacers. I am, so I'm going to have to take some off the other side, I think. Let me see where we're at as far as our pattern. I really hope I don't have to take too many off. Oh no, this side is actually longer. Oh, okay, so it's actually the longer side. I got to talking and didn't realize that. So, why don't I just take that off and leave it at that and go to chain. Let's measure it and see where we're at with it. We are at 12, just under 15. So I can either use this, or if I can quickly find the Figaro chain that came with the bargain bead box, which I bought extra of. So you'd think I know where I put it, but that would be incorrect. I do not. So we might just use the, I don't like to have too many beads on the back of my neck anyways. You guys, I kind of love this. It's perfect fall tones, but it could even, you could wear it any time of the year. It's not like you have to limit yourself because of a rule or something. I think I want to put one more carnelian on either side with one spacer on either side, just to give it a little bit longer of the beaded one, of the beaded length. Where's the other one? And that ends up being exactly as many as I had. So serendipitous. It worked out. Okay, let's crimp off one side again. As soon as I locate the clip I was just using, good thing I buy those by like the hundreds. And then we go and clean off my desk and we find them all again. And then they go back into the clip container. Alrighty, so first things first, I'm going to get some crimps. And I'm going to use gold because that's the closest to the bronze. And I do like to hardwire my chain on. Okay, Beadle, we're so glad that you keep these so safe, but can we maybe cut back on the little silicone thing just a tad? Ay, 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 they're so hard to open. I didn't even have that one pushed all the way closed. Goodness. Okay, through there. Let me see how long this is again so I know how much chain I need to cut. That is 6 inches right there. Like I said, 3 inches. So 9, 18. Let me see where I would want this to hit if it were mine. Yeah, actually, it doesn't need any chain at all, guys. Huh, huh, huh. Also, I don't like how this keeps spinning. Oh, now it's not gonna spin? Okay. Yep, I think I'm just gonna call it here, and I'm not going to do chain. So I will just make loops and then attach a clasp. Do you think that because this would be on, yeah, exactly, Junie, that's where I was too. No, the chain, it wasn't the chain on my mat. It was like the wider Figaro one that they have put in a couple of bead boxes. Magical crimper. In case you haven't used the magical crimper or have had problems with it, the magical crimper is a crimper that has concavity in the shape of a bead in the middle. You're gonna put your wire through, and then you're going to do, they say 4 squishes, which I find to be true if I add a little bit of extra beading wire into the mix, which I often do. Then it should only take, like, they say 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and done. So that's, it's true, like I said, if you put extra meat in the ravioli, which, like I said, I like to do because then I don't have to crimp it. I don't have to be like worried about hitting the crimp too many times. And then you just keep it centered on the pliers with each squish, because what it's doing is it's taking the excess metal that is left on the edges and pushing it into itself, creating a bead. So now we're going to trim this. And then the extra length right here. And yes, you guys, I have orange under my nails. How are you supposed to peel an orange without it staining under your fingernails? Guess if I had fake nails, it wouldn't be an issue, but yeah, I don't. I did for a long time, and then I started to have a bad reaction when I did, so I stopped using it. And this is more than plenty for part of an earring, so I wish I hadn't cut so much off on the other side. I should have done it closer to the end, which is what I typically do when I'm finishing a necklace. I just got to talking and wasn't paying attention, because that could have been enough for earrings. Come on, will you please just go in? Really? You telling me you don't want the extra wire in there or something? It went in so effortlessly just a minute ago on the other side. Okay, I think I got some in there. Also, when you are crimping, you don't need to like press hard. The crimp knows what it's supposed to do without needing you to like force it in place. I will say that I almost exclusively use Beadle on crimps. When it's not Beadle on, it's Softflex is my second choice, and my third choice is oops, why do I have that gap there? Thought I cut that all the way up. My third choice is the crimps made by the company who invented the magical crimper. Come on. There we got it off. Okay. Which is Beadsmith, I believe. They're my third choice. And Softflex is number 2 simply because I don't get the Softflex design kits. I've thought about doing so. I just need to start making a little bit of excess, not excess, some money at all of this. All right, now we're going to find a class. Don't tell me that I don't have any class right here. If not, I will make one. Looks like we're gonna make one because I don't see it. Now I just have to locate the wire I used at the beginning of this project. Did I put it back over here? Like I would always do. That is too much. I don't understand where the heck I did with it. I just used it earlier in this video. What the heck did I do with it? Did I put it up there? It's would have just fallen. There it is. This is 20 gauge, and I typically prefer 18 for my clasps, but we will make it work today. Okay, so all we're going to do is grab, I like to use my Beadsmith micro crimpers or micro pliers and form it around halfway. So you have like a little backward C, and then I just take my wider nose pliers and slowly, especially if you're using 22 gauge, because this puppy is going to want to twist on you like it just did. And all you're trying to do is push this back in amongst itself so that you don't, I don't like the clasps that have a big loop. And I just messed up that wire trying to force it. Okay. Small little bends. This is much easier to do with 18 gauge wire. Okay, there we go. Got it. Now you just have to decide how large you want your loop. You want your hello. You want your hook to be. I generally like to go to the 3. So I'm going to force, or I'm going to put I'm going to face the loop towards me, I'm going to push it up by just a millimeter or two, and then I'm going to bend until it comes back and touches itself. Like that. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. Then you have a hook. I want to work hard in this. So rather than pulling out my bench block and doing it that way, I use the box joint of my 6-step bail making pliers to do it, so I'm not having to pull out another tool at the end of a project. Then all I need to do is kind of put this, like center it a little bit more like that. And then I'm going to do a loop that I will attach to my Softflex wire. So I'm going to do that around the smallest step, just a little bit up. And just like the other ones, as soon as I attach this, I almost forgot. It's kind of a big loop. I'm going to shorten that up real quick. There we go. We're going to attach it to our necklace. And since there is no front or back on this, well, I guess there could be a front and a back. Either side can be the front or the back, in my opinion. But of course, when you're making it, oh, Heather, you're holding the wrong part. You need to hold the loop. And just wrap that around till it comes back up to where it started from. Cut the wire. Tuck the end. Like that. And then we're going to do my other little link that I like to do, which is to take this and put it at the very end. And then you're going to rotate around again till it comes back and touches the other side. Then, but I am going to give that a little bend. And then all I'm going to do is point that away from me, where however big I want it to be. Again, I'm going to go to the third step, pop it up ever so slightly, and then you're going to push the metal back around itself. Oh no, I may not have cut enough wire. Let's see, because I normally like to wrap around twice, but I don't think that I have enough wire to do that. Wrong loop, Heather. No, I'm going to get around once, which I like to have more. Okay, so cut a larger piece. Again, start with a smaller loop, which I did on the one step. Center that ever so slightly. Face it away from me. Go up, around, and over. Twist it up just ever so slightly. Push that down a little bit. That way you'll be able to get around that loop without it pressing it into itself. You guys, it's the garbage man. Calm down. Hey, quit. Ramsey? Oh, I went the wrong way. I fixed it. Oh, that was close. I cannot believe that I was able to fix that so easily. I started to unwind it all instead of wind it. Oh, thank you to the beady gods. Okay, and then the big loop is a wrap loop. And this is a simple loop, but because I wrapped it around, it's all nestled in to the point that I can't even tell which side is supposed to come out. Yeah, that side. It's all nestled in underneath those little wraps, so it's sturdier. It's not going to pull out as easy. Which I hope nobody is trying to like pull your necklace off of you, but. And then after I attach it, I like to go in and make sure that this is nice and like pressed down so it's not gonna scratch anybody's neck. Okay, there we go. And we're done. We're done, we're done, we're done. And what we're left with is a nice fall necklace for you. What breed are your dogs? I breed Malsheepoos, and I could breed AKC Shih Tzus. I just haven't for a while. The Malsheepoo brand came about because Maltepoos are neurotic spasms. So, because they're very hyper, because they come from a Maltese and a miniature poodle, even a teacup poodle, whatever, they mix that together. Both of them are more nervous breeds. Also, Shih Tzus have a lot of breathing issues and eye issues because their eyes are more buggy. So they're also known to be a little bit stubborn to train, because you have to remember they were bred for royalty. So they were literally bred to be lap dogs who were carried everywhere and whatever else. So they don't like to go through training. So when you put them together, the Maltipoo side elongates the snout of the Shih Tzu and sets the eyes further back into the skull, eliminating a lot of the breathing and eye issues. Because the other breed, both Maltese and Poodles, are very smart, intelligent dogs and are kind of known for being easier to train. It helps with that. So that's how the Malsheepoo litter came about. I sell them to people all over the US that have said, oh my gosh, I had one and then I couldn't find another one. I've been looking for 3 or 4 years. So those are the breed that I normally go. Okay, Dorothy, thanks for being here. And I've flown them all over the US. I have it with a pet nanny. So it's a great little breed. I like breeding them. They're very sweet puppies. Like I said, the Shih Tzu helps calm down the like nervous energy. And when I say Maltepoos are neurotic spasms, they are, including the 2 that I have. I have a little 6-pound male who's just on one most of the time. My other Maltipoo is now, she's blind, but she, like, when her tail goes, it's like getting swatted. So, but I haven't done a Shih Tzu litter in almost 2 years now because they just stick on. They stay on the market. I end up having them till they're older, depending upon what time it is in the year. A lot of people don't like to buy puppies in the spring because potty training dogs during the summertime is very difficult because they don't want to go outside because it's hot. So it just depends on if I end up having like an older litter and a younger litter. When they get to be older, will generally like reduce their price. I also do a 10% discount for veterans, teachers, nurses, and first responders. So they get 10% off. If it's a returning puppy parent that came back to adopt more puppies, they get a 10% off. So if it's a stack, I do stack them in those cases. But yep, I've been doing it for 8 years. It's fun. We haven't bought any new females in a few years. So we have 3 that will be retired in the next 12 to 18 months. So we have to decide if we're going to get more females. But yeah. Thank you for hanging out with me, guys. I thoroughly enjoyed making this necklace with all of you. I need to go do my FOC videos as well as FOC and my bargain bead box because I found my mahogany obsidian, so I can finally use those coin beads. But I hope that you guys all have a fabulous rest of your day, and that I will see you guys tonight, actually, for the Wednesday Night Live. So that will be at 5 o'clock my time, 9 or 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I moved it earlier now that I'm the only one that needs to be taken in consideration. So hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, happy beading.